Let's do it.
That's how some of our best shows have taken place. It's right off that hip, sir.
Generally. All right. And on that note, we are live. Hello, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to another Sunday evening with B and T. And we are happy to be with y'all this evening and talk about some football because there's been a lot of it. And our wonderful teams, well, they played like crap, so we will definitely be getting into that. Um, if you have not, if it's your first time watching this, please like the video. Please subscribe if you know somebody that enjoys sports and is just looking for the normal, the everyday person's opinion. Please hop on board, give us a watch. And if you're out there watching, then get in the chat and make some noise. We always love having folks in the chat. We always are interactive with our chat. So, without further ado, let's jump directly into the highlights for our teams. Me being a Raiders fan, B is a Ravens fan. Um, and we'll start with the Raiders. So, the Raiders spent one half proving to the world that they are the team that the NFL thought they were. And then they spent the second half. Then they spent the second half proving you wrong, or proving us wrong. So it was really a Jekyll and Hyde type of game. They looked on point. Jacobs was running the ball. The ball was spreading around to different receivers, not just not just Devontae Adams. Waller was getting in the mix. Winfro was getting in the mix. It really was looking like the total package, at least on offense. They had some good plays on defense too, but man, the second half gets there and the offense stayed in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? They never showed up, man. It was really disappointing. I mean, Carr had some wayward throws. And it sucks because the defense did such a good job of putting pressure on Kyler Murray in the first half, and in the second half, the man just figured out I don't have to throw the ball. I'm just gonna run, and sure enough, that's what he did. He made an incredible throw to help tie the game at the end of the game. Across, well, actually, I don't. I think that was before that. He had a 30 yard rope to the back of the end zone, and it's just the guy was on fire. So kudos to Kyler Murray for having a great second half, but Derek Carr disappeared. They went back to the. They looked like they were back in the first half of the first game. It just looked they looked awful. The guy's throwing the ball to nobody. Ball's going to the dirt, flying into open areas where there are no receivers. Um, Nearly got picked off. I don't know what's going on with this dude, man. B, did you watch any of this, man, or see any highlights?
I just caught most of the highlights here, but man, you talk about a tale of two halves here. Like the Raiders played a perfect first half that you can ask for from a team. Like everything clicked on all cylinders as far as defense and offense goes for them. Um, they walked into that half with a 20-0 lead, and all of a sudden it stopped.
Yeah,
But the problem was is it stopped on both ends of the ball for them, and you got to give credit where it's due. And Arizona came out and gave it all there in that second half. And when you look at it, a 20-point lead isn't really much when it comes to the NFL, because it's a touchdown and a stop that changes the game for a lot of people there.
right.
So the fact that they did not kind of just put the hammer down shows you how really inexperienced this team is with all these expectations that are set behind it. And it's fair to have put this pressure on the Raiders because it is a loaded AFC West. So every game has to matter. And not saying that every game of the NFL doesn't matter, but it's these situations like this where you cannot fall 0-2 in a loaded division like this. Like you just cannot. And then the worst part is Hunter Renfro went down
Yeah,
today.
with a concussion. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's gonna put a little more pressure on Devontae Adams to kind of step up a little more than he already is.
yeah, yeah, man. And again, it's like I'm the idiot that made the prediction that the Raiders would be the top of the AFC West. Well, that don't look like it's going to happen. Like you said, it's a tough division. You can't lose two games. You can't lose against the teams in your division, and they've lost two. They've lost to the Chargers to open, and they just look like a team that's still trying to figure it out. The hope is that they can put it all together It's been the tale of two halves for the past two games. Even in the first game against the Chargers, the first half they were awful. The second half they still made some mistakes, but at least clawed back into the game. This game they started well, and then the second half they didn't do so well. They didn't do well at all. So I think
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things, man. They got a new coach. You're running a new offensive plays. You have new players. It's going to take some time for them to gel together, and I think that's what we're seeing. I will say, however, that there's a lot of pressure on Carr, and he's going to have to step up. You know what I mean? Like at quarterbacks in the
There's
league, they don't get much. Nobody cares about their feelings. You got to go out there and perform. So he's going to have to find a way to step it up and make plays when plays are needed. And that's what we didn't see today. There were no plays to be made. There were some plays at the end of the game or in the overtime where they were making some gains, and it looked like they were actually on their way to score. But they had a fumble first. They had a one fumble. They had a fumble before the play that ended the game. That was recovered by another Raider. Then the pass goes out to Renfro, who gets hit. He fumbles, and the guy scoops it up and takes it back to the house. So it's just one of those things where it's like you waited too long to put your foot on their neck, and you gave them just enough air to breathe, and that's all Kyler Murray needed. Kyler Murray looked winded, boy. He was out there huffing
Yeah, he did.
because
He showed who
he
did.
put the team on his back. He had a huge run that picked up first down in the not in the overtime, but going into the overtime. He had one play where he's out there running around in circles for 25 seconds, looking for somebody to throw to, and then finally tucks it, runs it into the end zone. So it's just tough luck. I mean, not tough luck. They gotta be consistent all four quarters, man. They can't just be good for
That's
one half.
what good teams have to do. Is they have to finish these games early, and it wasn't finished early. You have a big lead, but there's two halves of football left. If you would have scored maybe ten
One
points,
touchdown. Yeah.
one touchdown, maybe even added a field goal to that, ends that game for the Cardinals there because it takes the sails out of any comeback.
Right.
But the minute the Cardinals got the ball in the second half and they put points on the board, and then came with a stop right after that, built all sorts of momentum for the Cardinals to climb into that game there. And remember, football's such a long game. It's you don't have to try to get everything back at once. It's just you got to put points on the board. You cannot miss opportunities, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown. They did not miss those opportunities in the second half, and the Raiders just did not want to finish the game, to say the least. And the way it ended was just even worse, is on a
Right,
turnover.
right. I mean, like I said, it's they got to put it together. I think they'll still get there. They have all the weapons on offense that you could ever want. There really isn't a reason why they shouldn't have got this done, especially as well as that defense had played throughout a majority of the game. I would say, especially in the first half. But man, these dudes, I'm trying to see who they play next week, but
They
less.
get they play Tennessee next week,
Yeah,
and then after
yeah. You
that
got the
they finish
Broncos
it
and the
out.
Chiefs.
So two of the three games against your own division, you're already 0-1 in the division.
If they
Like
lose
the
two of
Raiders,
the three next games, it's over, dude. If you go down 0, in my opinion, at least 0-5, or excuse me, 1-4, you know, given the other teams that are playing, that's gonna be tough to get out of because I can guarantee you, the Chiefs are gonna be at the top. San
yep.
Diego actually, I think, did they play this week or did they lose? I think they lost this week.
San Diego, you mean Los
Excuse
Angeles?
me, Los Angeles. I mean, is that really who they are though? I mean, really, they come on, they're the
That's what
San
they
Diego
claim. Is
Chargers,
what it
man.
says on their
They're
jersey.
like this.
Los Angeles
They're the
Chargers.
NFL Clippers at this point. Um,
Wow.
well, I mean, yeah, they play in the same stadium, but they're not the show. They're not the real show. Um, yeah, man. So yeah, they lost to the Chiefs. But yeah, I mean the Raiders got to hope that the rest of the division beats themselves up and gives them an opportunity. But if they come out of 5 games with one win, dude, I mean they're gonna be calling for Derek Carr and the coach's head before we even get to the end of the season. So
Absolutely. And Derek Carr's got to wear that pressure right now.
yeah,
He's not delivering.
yeah, and you know I don't know. I don't like Josh McDaniels. I already said that. So, and for those who are wondering, that is Martinelli's apple cider. We do not promote
Yeah,
drinking.
my bad, y'all. I'm thirsty, but Martinelli's. Letting it be known now, 100 like 300 milligrams of
Was
sugar.
that
So
was
let's
that the
do it.
one from last Thanksgiving that's been sitting in the closet?
No, it's actually from my sister's wedding, dude. We got like 8 bottles of this shit still
Oh
left, so I
my!
got to get through
I got you.
it.
Damn.
Yeah, man. But let's switch over here. I mean, I guess we'll talk about my team. I got really nothing to say, man. You want to talk about a big ass blown lead? I mean, dude, that was a hell of a game today, and yet my team was on the losing end of it. Lamar Jackson had a game of his
Yeah, he did.
life. Threw for 3 touchdowns, ran for a fourth. Had over 100 yards rushing, had over 300. Was it 200, almost 300 yards passing? And they still find a way to lose to these damn Dolphins. Like, let's talk about the Dolphins real quick here because they're 2-0 now. Um, in this season here, and the one thing I've noticed here is that Tua Tagovailoa is actually off to a pretty hot start right
Yeah,
now,
he's playing well.
and that weapon that he has with Tyreek Hill, the two passes that Tyreek Hill caught, dude, there was nobody in the league. I don't think Usain Bolt even stopped him. You
He
know what I'm
literally
saying?
was slowing down to catch the ball.
It's unreal, man. That dude's got some speed. Um, but I guess the bigger topic to move forward is if Miami's going to be that team in the AFC because they're kind of making some headways
Yeah,
right now with what they're doing. They go to Baltimore, they beat them. They beat a Patriots team who isn't all that bad in all honesty, and so they're 2-0 right now.
right.
What do you see with the Dolphins that could kind of be a shock to everyone if they continue
Well,
this?
I mean, it'll be tough for them to continue at that level, but they have the weapons to do so. I mean, Waddle played really well, caught some great catches, and
Yeah,
he looks like an All Pro wide receiver alongside Tyreek Hill, who speed kills. You can try to double team Tyreek, but if Tua gets enough time in the pocket and Tyreek has enough field to work with, then there isn't a whole lot that you can do without playing your safeties way back. I want to point out that Tua threw for 469
oh
yards,
my god.
6 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. So this was a monster game. This might be his best game of the season in a comeback.
Bro.
So or best game of his young career, I should say. Tyreek Hill is a monster, and dude, these stat. I mean, if they can continue to do this offensively, I absolutely agree with you. I think they'll be a team to be reckoned with. But Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle with 11 receptions apiece, 190 yards for Tyreek Hill, 171 yards for Jalen Waddle. I
Dude,
mean,
that's
Tua had to throw the ball like 60 times, man. I mean, seriously. So I don't know if that's something they can keep up. Teams are going to start putting pressure on Tua, and I think he'll really have to show if he can do it under pressure. Sometimes in these comeback games, it gives you like sort of false sense of that you're better. But if you're down to start, then there's some things you need to change. So they look like a nice dark horse team right now. But they still got a little bit more to prove before we could say they're the cream of the crop.
let's just put it like this. You want to talk about your team blowing the lead. My team was up 28-7 going into half.
I don't know what happened, man.
28-7. And then on top of that, they put up a touchdown in the third
Yeah,
quarter.
that 70-yard run, that was
Yes.
crazy. I thought the game was over, man. I was like, oh well, don't need to watch this.
Because Miami scored a touchdown, but they were still up by a larger mark, and then Miami puts up 28 points in the fucking fourth quarter. You got to be absolutely kidding me for a team to do that, man.
That's bad, man.
That's all on the Ravens defense.
It
There,
is. It is.
you really can't put that on the offense because the offense did their job.
Yeah.
They put up points, but the defense, for some reason, in the fourth quarter, got conservative. But for what reason?
They,
It's
they play prevent defense, my friend.
dude.
Prevents you from winning.
That's exactly what
Because
it
they
is.
should have
It's
been
called
keeping the
prevent.
pressure on Tua. They should have
Yeah,
been trying to get the ball out of his. They should have been pressuring. Try to make sure that they kept this guy from getting comfortable, and he sure enough got comfortable, and they sure enough got they got whooped. So,
Bro, on top of that, Tyreek Hill running behind the defense. It's like, dude, how do you not
oh,
account? How do you not account for the fastest guy on the field? Like, someone needs to just sit. I mean, it's hard to guard him as it is, but if no one's around him, dude, it was just
but
embarrassing, man. It was just
you can
terrible.
solve that problem if you get pressure on the quarterback. You know,
You can
in order
too.
for Tyreek to get 50 yards down the field, he's fast. But he ain't that damn fast. You're gonna need time to throw the ball, and I think the Ravens really should have been getting after Tua and putting some of the fear and God in him, and they didn't, and he got loose. You know what I'm saying? Same thing
He got
happened to the
way too
Raiders,
loose.
man. We put so much pressure on Kyler Murray to start the game, and we still did try to put pressure on him, but the difference was is Kyler realized that he could make more plays with his feet, and so that's what he started doing. He started getting outside of the hash marks, picking up first downs with his legs, picking up extra time to get his receivers open. So he really did a good job of adjusting to us, and our guys had a lot of chance to get hands on him, but we couldn't bring him down. He's too quick and too fast. So
It's hard. It's hard to tackle a midget. I tell you that.
yeah, I'm telling you, 5 foot nothing, 5 foot nothing, man. So let's
Well,
move on to the big topic, and this is mainly a big topic because we're talking about a local team, and that's the 49ers, who had a great game. They won 27-7, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure I check the score here. And looked like a team that was, they looked like they did last year. Great defense, run the ball, win the game. I mean, the Niners' way of winning is pretty simple. It's what they've been doing for a few years now. But that's not the story, is it? The,
hell no, it
the
ain't.
story is your boy, Trey Lance. Unfortunately, breaking his ankle and will now be out for the remainder of the season. So the golden boy is now, he's no longer in the building. And B, who comes in to save the day?
Who else? Jimmy G.
Jimmy G.
Jimmy G saved. Look, I watched the game today just because it's on our local television here, dude. I don't get why the Niners had felt the need to run Trey Lance as much as they did to start this game off with, because the offense was just running all over
Yeah.
Seattle. But the thing I noticed the most was Seattle was laying the wood on a lot of these runs here. Like, see, they don't sell each other short when it comes to a tackle. And
Yeah.
and I'm not saying any NFL team does, but just watch the way they were flying towards the ball here. And I get it. Trey Lance is a mobile quarterback. He can get outside the pocket, but my sister brought up a good point as we were talking about the game earlier. You're running him up the middle. These aren't draw plays. You are running him up the middle where a linebacker has every opportunity to come downhill. And he got held up in that line and just got absolutely demolished, causing his ankle to go the way it did there. This was not a dirty play by any means necessary. This was a 100% true football play that cost Trey Lance his season here. He's done for the
Yeah,
year.
it's over. Yeah, 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 yeah.
And the big topic right now, which should be, is why is he running that much in this game? You have running backs, use them. It's not like the Niners have bad running backs either.
Well,
They've got some pretty decent running backs.
this is what happens when you put so much emphasis, pressure, and unnecessary, you know, expectation on a rookie quarterback. Though, I mean, you're asking a guy to save your team. You're asking him to do a lot. And I agree with you. Yeah, maybe he shouldn't be running the ball like that. But hell, whenever Cam Newton dropped that ball and didn't hop on in the Super Bowl, we killed his ass, didn't we? I'm
Oh, we sure the hell
Yeah. So
did.
I mean, when you put a guy in a position or quarterback in a position where he's running the ball more, when he's mobile, and that's what you're using. I mean, the Ravens. They're notorious for that. They ran a bunch of draws in this game that didn't go anywhere. One of them towards the end of the game that didn't do them any good. So
Yep.
it sometimes it's what is being asked of the coach because they're looking at a mobile quarterback. They want him to make plays. That's a part of the game. If Trey Lance is going to be a great player throwing with his arm, then he's not doing that. But because his expertise, or we'll call it his his thing is that he can run the ball and he's a mobile quarterback, then they're going to ask you to do that. And so it might not have been wise to have him do it at that particular moment, but they're going to be plays called like that if you're going to be a mobile quarterback. And unless he starts making a lot of plays with his arm, he's going to be running the ball. Now I agree with you. Maybe they shouldn't have him run him up the middle. Maybe that play wasn't just was a poorly designed play. Maybe the coverage was blown. Who knows? But at the end of the day, this is the expectation you put on the dude. You want him to win, he wants to win. He's going to put his neck in there, put his neck out there for his team and try to do what he can. Otherwise, he's going to leave the football land on the ground like Cam Newton.
Well, I think the most of it just kind of goes to, if you're going to set up your quarterback to run on a design run, it does not need to be up the middle. I do. Did you see the size of number 99 on the Seattle Seahawks?
Nah, man, but I
This
mean, these guys, they're all behemoths.
this dude looked like he could barely fit into his uniform, man. That probably was about a 4XL that he had on.
I
You know what
don't
I'm
know if
saying?
I don't even think they do XLs at that point. That's
Dude, it
custom.
was a blanket at
It's a
that point
custom.
that they put a Seahawks logo on and everything. But dude, you have to stretch the field. If you, in my eyes, the field has to get stretched with the mobile quarterback.
Right.
Your mobile quarterback does not need to be going up the middle like he's an actual running back. You know, it's just mind blowing that he wanted to use Trey Lance that much in the run game when the running backs were already moving the ball down the
Right.
field. They were getting pressure up front. There was no need for him to have to do that.
Yeah.
Essentially, you have three running backs on the field if you add Debo Samuel to that mix, and so it's just. I feel for the kid as much controversy as this has been for the Niners and for and the two quarterbacks. You feel for him because yes, this was his time. This was probably the best game for him to go to because the weather conditions weren't all that bad. He was trying to prove himself, but then you running the ball just way too many times for him, and then it costed him as a very significant thing. And now you hear people talking about the play calling of Kyle Shanahan, and it's like, you know, you got to look at it like, why were you running? Why are you putting your quarterback in that much trouble for?
I mean, yeah, we could definitely talk about the play call from the coach, and maybe it wasn't a good idea. But to be honest with you, I think the only reason you magnify it is because of the fact that he was injured. I think that again, if you're a mobile quarterback and you're not contributing with your arm, you're just going to end up running plays like that. I mean, and I think that until he could have contributed more with his arm, that those were the type of plays that were going to be called. Now, it may have been a mistake that he had him run up the middle, but ultimately, if he's still healthy and the season wears on, he's probably running that play 5 more times before the end of the season. I mean, that just comes with the territory if you're going to be a mobile quarterback. And I mean, like I said, it's unfortunate that it happened to him. Like this is going to stunt his career, and who knows what can happen in a year. I mean, for who's to say that Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't go in there and they end up back in the playoffs again? Then you end up with another controversy. Is this the last year of Jimmy G's contract?
Now we don't know.
Yeah,
Now
I
we don't
mean,
know because technically this is a 1 year deal for Jimmy,
yeah, I
but
mean, yeah. This is Jimmy's opportunity to build the value of him, build his own value, for either
yep.
staying with the Niners or going to another team. So I mean, in a year you don't know what can happen. The idea is, oh well, Jimmy will just play this year. We'll bring Trey Lance back. But like I said, if they go to the playoffs again this year and they make a little bit of noise, are we going to have the same? Are we going to be having the same discussion we had last offseason, next offseason? Do you go with Trey Lance? Are we trading Jimmy Garoppolo? It's going to be the same thing over again, And I
Yep.
think, I just think for the Niners, although that's not kind of not where you want to be. If they had a traded Garoppolo this offseason, given what happened today, their
Oh, they lose
entire
this game today.
season, their entire no, not just this game. I think their entire season would have been destroyed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, 100% there, and you're right. And the Niners front office now look like geniuses for bringing back Jimmy G
Yeah,
to take place here. But uh, T, you're there. You are there. You are. Camera came out for a little bit, but
yeah,
you're
I
back.
got it. Technical
Um,
difficulties.
the the Niners were smart on bringing him back, but this is going to cause just a lot more, like you said. if Jimmy G, just imagine if he wins the division with this team.
Yeah, right, right,
It's going to start controversy right then and there.
right.
And if they have a deep playoff run, which they are built to do, this team is built to win. And if anyone wants to argue that, you damn right, you're stupid for that because this Niner team is deadly. The weapons they have are out of control, and they have to win now. So they're in a great spot right now. Dude, I hope Trey Lance recovers from this because he has upside. It's there. We're just now it's got to hold off on another year. Here's the
Yeah,
downside to it. All the controversy that's now going to follow right behind this injury, instead of worrying about him being healthy, the conversation is when he's healthy, what do the Niners do now?
right,
Do they
exactly.
do they run with Trey Lance again, like you said, or hey, Jimmy G actually didn't do too bad with us here.
Right.
So hey, how are we going to restructure that contract? Because now that you think about it, if you bring Jimmy back, you have Jimmy and Nick Bosa to pay.
Yeah, yeah.
This is Nick Bosa's last year too on a rookie deal,
Well,
so you got to pay him.
you got to pay him. So and that's kind of what I'm getting at is, you know, again, this is unfortunate. It could have happened to any quarterback. It's kind of a freak incident, but it is, like I said, it's going to create a really tough situation, as you mentioned, for the front office, because they're going to be running the same stuff they've always ran with the same quarterback they've had for the past 2 years. That means they're going to win
Yep.
games. That means they're going to go with the same formula that got them into the playoffs in a first round win last year. So it's going to be interesting to see. And then ultimately, the Niners almost, they're going to have to make an even tougher decision, in my opinion, next offseason because they're really actually going to have to get rid of Garoppolo. I don't think he's going to come back. So they really have to figure out what they want to do.
And let's talk about the stat line for Jimmy G when he stepped into the game. He was 13 for 21, about 500.
Manage the game, baby.
Managed the game, 154 yards, one touchdown, no interceptions.
Yeah.
He let the playmakers do their job here. I think that's the way Kyle Shanahan should have been using Trey Lance.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no need for Trey Lance to have to be in there to make plays when he's got playmakers all around him to do that for him. Now you could use him in a trick play, kind of run him around, whatever the case may be, but it's all about just game managing with this team with the amount of weapons that you have. The fact that he ran the ball 4 times up the middle and not once was able to come down clean. Dude was taking shots, and that last shot really put Trey on his ass there.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, why? Why not? That's what you're running. Not saying you use your running back for these kind of things, but the running back is there for a certain reason.
Yeah, but that's where I think what's so critical about this is if I'm the 49ers and I am not going with Garoppolo, then when I bring Trey Lance into the game, I don't expect him to do Garoppolo things. And I guess that's my point. If he's going to be running the same crap Garoppolo's running, then what's the point of having him in the game? You might as well just go back to Garoppolo at that point. The reason he's in the game, the reason he has the upside, is because of his ability to run. And I think that's why they got caught. Now, I'm not saying that that was the right player, that the coach made the right decision. He should be called to question if it's a situation, especially where the quarterback gets hurt. But that's why he's in there. Because if that was the case, just roll Jimmy G ass back out there. What's the point of even having Trey Lance in the game if I'm gonna be running the same stuff I did with Jimmy G? That doesn't make any sense.
I think you could use Jimmy G and Trey Lance in the same offense, but the difference with that is just you can ask Trey Lance to get out of the pocket. He's 10 times faster than Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Let's let's confirm that there. But I think if you're going to run Trey Lance, it's got to be away from the pile. It's got to be on the outside there. You're not going to get injured the same way getting hit by a safety or a DB, the same way that linebacker lit him up today. That linebacker came downhill. What do linemen do all the time to keep a play going? They stand you up.
Yeah, so you get hit and so you can strip the ball, man.
Exactly, and that's exactly what happened to Trey Lance today.
Hey,
He got held up and just got annihilated.
check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Running quarterbacks take licks, man. I'm sorry, they
Oh,
take
ask
licks.
RG3.
Yeah,
RG3 was under
RG3.
Mike. Was
RG3
Kyle
don't.
Shanahan.
Yeah, his dad. Well, yeah, that's
Yep.
right. He was
Kyle
also the play
Shanahan and
caller. Yeah.
RG3.
So I mean, running quarterbacks take licks, and RG3 was a much better thrower passer than any of the players outside of that we have in the league right now. Outside of well, no, Patrick Mahomes don't have the wheels that RG3 had. So he was an otherworldly player when he first came into the league, but he had a greedy coach who didn't want to sit him after he hurt himself. But anyway, I'm getting away from the point. The point is Cam Newton, even your boy Jackson, who took a lot of hits the first couple of seasons he was in the game. Guys are gonna get whacked if you're a mobile quarterback. So that I think, in my opinion, that comes with the game. It's unfortunate, but it comes with the game. And so if the guy's gonna be mobile, then you're gonna ask him to make plays with his feet. Hell, the Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals will never beat my Raiders today if Kyler Murray has stayed in the pocket.
Oh yeah.
You got to use the strength that you have. It's just that, unfortunately, in this case, he got injured. You know what I mean? And sometimes I just think that just happens. Those are just some things that happen. Now I agree with you. Maybe you're putting your quarterback in harm's way, but anytime you're asking your quarterback to run the ball, you're putting him in harm's way.
Yeah, you're right.
Unless he's sliding or something, he's gonna get hit. You know.
Well, you can't slide when you're running the ball up the middle into linemen. You
No, you
can't.
can't slide. Yeah, yeah.
You-
Hey,
um,
but Lamar Jackson scored a 70-yard touchdown on a similar play today. It wasn't exactly a call. I don't think it was a call draw, but it was a similar play in that he ran the ball up the middle. So I
he
don't know.
did.
So I don't know, man. I just let's get to the chat because we've been talking a lot. Let's get Rachel in here. All right, so we got so Rachel says, and Rachel, I'll just read them. I know you got all the comments from you here. Thank you, thank you. If if the Niners don't do anything this year, run it back with Trey and Bosa, and pay Bosa, this is definitely Jimmy G's last chance that he can lead the team to a Super Bowl to win. So yeah, we definitely talked about that.
So let me before you move on to Rachel's
Yeah.
next comment, let me ask you this, Rach. If the Niners win a Super Bowl with Jimmy
Oh, they
G,
ain't.
are
Yeah,
you
no.
are you still doing that same process? I'll let you read the rest of her comments, but I'm gonna let her type that out. If Jimmy G wins a Super Bowl this year with this team, plays the same way, are you bringing Trey back to start over Jimmy G, or are you bringing Jimmy G back to start?
Yes,
Go ahead, T. Get us
for
caught up.
sure. So the next comment also from Rachel. I don't think Shanahan trusted Trey just yet. I know he is a running option quote QB, but the entire playbook changed when Jimmy G came in. More passing plays. Well, yeah, it is a part of the game. Got to learn to slide. Yeah, yeah, and that's what I was saying. I mean, they're going to change the playbook because you're asking Trey Lance to do something different. And we talked about the speed and athleticism that Lance, and that's what the team is looking to take advantage of when he's on the field. Um, and then when Jimmy G
But
come back, he's old and crusty. He's not going to run, so
he's old and
you just ask
crusty.
him to make a couple
But
of 5, 10 yard dunk offs and keep it moving.
but but let me tell you this though. What is a playmaker's biggest thing, right? Is getting into open field.
Yeah,
You Trey Lance can't get in the open field when he's in the box that is this big. That's what I'm saying. If you swing him out now, Lamar Jackson, we could touch on his running style because he does go to the middle, but Lamar Jackson is a bigger size than Trey Lance. So he's a little built for it, but you seen like in today's game, there was more throwing than there was running. He rarely took off. I think he had like 8
yeah,
rushes, which is very and for Lamar's eyes is very low here. But Trey Lance was half that way through the first quarter,
yeah,
and that was the most mind blowing thing is that you you ran it way too much with the quarterback. Just let your playmakers do the thing. The kid from LSU, someone help me with his name here. I can't.
wide receiver
I like
or running
no
back.
no. He's a running back for the Niners.
Jeffrey Wilson,
No, Tyron.
Tyron Davis Price.
Yeah, dude, that dude is a beast. He should have been the one running that ball up the middle, man. That dude is a monster.
Yeah, you guys have running backs all over the place, though. I mean, they can. You've got plenty of guys to share that rock with coming out the backfield. But let's see. Let's get back to Rachel's got an answer. So you bring Jimmy back. why would you not sign a quarterback who wins you Super Bowl? So yeah, so I mean that goes that's
But
going
the thing
without
was,
said.
is they almost got rid of him for taking him to an NFC Championship game.
Right.
That they were knocking on the doorstep. It was a dropped interception away from the Niners being back in the Super Bowl. Now Jimmy G was hurt. He still played good being hurt, but they decided that Trey Lance was the way to go. But if he wins the Super Bowl, this question gets magnified on a bigger stage now because the Niners are going to have to be the spotlight's on the Niners to make a very tough decision with a guy who took you to a Super Bowl, who's even taking you to NFC Championship games, or an unproven quarterback. That's been the discussion this entire time since they decided to make Trey Lance the starting quarterback.
Right. Yeah, man. I
So
mean, now it's going to be a game of wait and see. But Jimmy G is going to be
I,
back to his old tricks. He's going to be throwing for a buck 50, buck 75 a game, and one touchdown and no interceptions, and they're going to be running the ball 60% of the time. And
he's going to
yeah,
be throwing interceptions. It's Jimmy G we're talking about
yeah,
here. He
well,
will
yeah,
throw a
he'll
pick.
throw one here and there, but I'll be honest with you. I mean, the guy's just going to come in and run the play. This is one of those things. The type of play caller that you have in Shanahan is not. He doesn't have some otherworldly talent coming from under center to throw the ball to people. He's setting these players up to be in the correct place at the correct time, based on play calling. And and
Yeah.
and I think that's where I saw Jimmy G is going to do. He's going to take a couple step backs and fire at 5 or 10 yards. That's it. I mean, he's not going to do a lot. So I think the same elements and the same gameplay that we saw last year is what we're going to see this year. And they may end up winning 9, 10 games. And they probably more than likely will be in the playoffs.
In all honesty, their win total goes up now. I believe that win total is
Ooh.
a higher number
Ooh.
for the Niners this year.
Okay.
Because of that,
Yeah.
Jimmy G gives them the best opportunity to win because of his game management.
Yeah.
He lets his guys get out in space. These little 5 yard slants, these little screens. What does it open up? It opens up Debo Sam. Dude, did you see the run Debo had today?
No, man, I missed
He
that.
was dead. He was dead in the waters. I don't know if I can't remember if it was a trick play, but he was dead in the waters, and he turned it into like a 40-yard gain.
I believe
And
it.
then on top of that, the dude that tried to tackle him, instead of going out of bounds, he just lowers his head and takes dude on head straight.
Hey,
That's what I really enjoy about watching Debo
that's why you
Samuel
that's
play.
why you had to pay him, right? That's why you had to
That's
pay
why
him.
you had to pay him.
You know.
But looking at the Niners' next 3 games here, at Denver, and that's on Sunday night. Then they play the Rams on Monday night, and then at Carolina. The Broncos look beatable by all
Yeah, they're
necessary by all
not. They're
means.
not. No, no,
Rams are not playing good football
no. They're not.
at all,
Not
and
not really.
Carolina just sucks ass.
Yeah, they ain't got nothing
So
going for them.
if the Niners go 4-1 under Jimmy G, the talk obviously now the talks go silent, and now you can get back to football here.
Yeah,
Because now you're not worrying about if Trey Lance is winning games for them, or if when is it time for Jimmy G to start. Now everything kind of quiets down. You worry about the health of Trey Lance so he could get better, but now the Niners can go back to playing football. And mind you, Jimmy G's favorite weapon is not even on the field yet, and that's George Kittle.
yeah,
They haven't even gotten George Kittle back yet.
yeah, man. It's gonna be tough, man. If you
So
see the Niners at 6-2, and they are ahead of the Rams and the rest of the division, it will be a tough argument to make for Trey Lance. I mean, it all of this just makes it difficult for him. And I feel bad for him because the hope is that he will play a full season, get something under his belt. But like I said at the beginning of the season, it was going to be up and down because he was a young quarterback, and it was going to take time for him to figure it out. So he's going to have to figure it out next year, and it's going to be real weird next offseason. So we'll see, man. We'll see
shit.
what the heck's going to happen.
Hey, hold on a sec. We're gonna get into our picks because it will cover the rest of the NFL.
Yeah.
But my laptop's gonna die. Hold on one sec.
Oh my gosh.
Keep us entertained.
So while B goes and figures out his power situation, since his laptop is going to die and he needs to plug it in, we're going to jump into the pickups that we covered on Friday. So hopefully we help somebody make some money, or maybe we helped you lose some money. I don't know, but we're going to find out in a moment. we also give us a chance to cover some of the other games, maybe some upsets that were around the league. I'm still waiting on. I'm waiting on you. There we go. I feel the magic happening.
What the
No,
hell is going on
he
here?
has no power. And then, Chad, obviously, if there's something you guys want to discuss, feel free to shoot that over to us before we jump into the picks. You make it?
No, I think the outlet's died in this house.
The outlet died. Damn, not the
Yeah.
laptop died. So, y'all, let's set up a GoFundMe for B. Let's get him a new outlet. His outlet dead. I'll send y'all the GoFundMe information so we can get him. Anybody know an electrician?
Everybody know electrician? I need one badly. But that can't be because my phone charged, but now my laptop's not charging me. Start a GoFundMe. I need a new laptop, America.
There you go.
Well, hey, we had our Pick'em Fridays.
Let's do it.
We're gonna talk about everyone's picks because everyone picked a different team, and this will cover the rest of the NFL here. So Taj, well, I'm not gonna talk about Miami, so we covered that for you. We covered the Niners. You called Miami on the money line, so
money.
you want to know that.
Ha
Very nicely done. The 49ers in Seattle was 40.5, and you called the under.
Under, that's right.
The
baby.
final score to this game was 27-7, so the game was under. Good call on that
Woo!
one. But you lost to the Saints.
Yeah, I did.
Saints were
They got
2.5-point favorites, and can we let's talk about that game first because there was a lot of drama involved, and there was even a little fight on the.
Oh, you got to fill
here.
me in
So
on that one.
The Saints obviously. So the Saints were. It was a slow game to begin with, man. It was 3-0, 3-3, very low scoring, and then the fight breaks out between Mike Evans and Marcus Lattimore, who have a history of not liking each other already. But it kind of all started with Mr. 12 here because he was mouthing off to Lattimore.
Mm-hmm.
Lattimore said something back. Mike Evans came onto the field, and all chaos just broke out right after that there. So it was a nice little pushing and shoving match. Marcus Lattimore and Mike Evans get kicked out of this game here. But the Saints just absolutely blew every single chance they had to blow this game out of the water because the Buccaneers looked like dog water. It was bad, dude.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden this fight breaks out, and Tom Brady throws a touchdown, and then the defense gets a pick six to end the game right after that. So the Saints end up winning or losing, causing you to go 2-1.
They failed me
on your 3 picks today.
You know, that's what I get for saying Tom Brady's name during the show on Friday. But you know, 2-1 is not bad, man. I'll take that.
It's not bad.
I mean, I had a pretty good, for a first go around, not knowing what the hell I'm talking about. I think I did all right.
Yeah, man.
So I just gotta come up with some dough, and then I can make some money around here.
Well, here's the thing: if you come up with the dough, you still need to go 3-0 on that in order to win.
Oh, okay.
So that's not a bad start to go 2-1 though. Like for a first time bettor, that wasn't too bad.
All right. Well, I'll take that. I'll take that, not to the bank, but I'll take it.
Yeah, don't take it to the bank, but take it as a step going forward.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm about to lose all y'all. Hold on.
All right. So, folks, we all about to get lost, dumped into oblivion, because the power is gone. The man's laptop is dying. I don't know what's happening. You hear him cussing at his laptop in the background. You get your power up. You ready?
I think so. It's got an orange logo next to it, so I mean we're gonna find out real quick.
All right.
If I lose you guys, I'll lose you guys. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
So let's digress to the next one here.
You gotta look
I
at your
had
picks.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
I had Atlanta at 13.5.
man.
Favored. And some people made fun of me because it was a slap to the Rams. And guess what? That slap was true because this game should have never been close. And the Rams were actually blowing them out, too. I think they were up pretty big. And then the Rams just kind of
took the foot. I don't know.
I mean,
they just stopped playing for a little while.
They did what the rest of the league did and not close out a
Yeah, no,
game
nobody
at
wants to play
half.
a whole game. What's happening? Everybody's only playing
Oh,
halves.
oh, we got. Oh, look who's in the chat. T. I'll let you bring them in.
What we got?
Look who it is.
Let's see. Oh, go Jimmy G. We got Mama Birdie. Mama Birdie in the chat. A true fan of Jimmy G has come into the chat
She
and let
is.
us know that hey, Jimmy's the truth. So right on, right on, Mama Birdie. I'm with
Yep.
you. I'm with you. I feel bad for the young man, but I agree. Jimmy G is gives him the best opportunity to win right now at least.
Yep. So going back to the Rams Falcons game here. Again, another big lead for another NFL team.
Those
The
have,
Rams were up 21-3 going into the half. 21-3.
damn man, it's like the
They
whole
sco-
league missed leg day. I don't know what happened.
Oh, dude, I don't know what happened, but the Rams went cold on offense, only scored 10 points in the second half,
Yeah.
and Atlanta made a ferocious comeback. Or as I'm looking at their jerseys from today, they look like the Mean Machine from The Longest Yard, the remake with Adam Sandler. And if
Oh. Oh my gosh.
it was terrible. So the Rams ended up winning 31-27. So Atlanta definitely covered that 13 and a half right there, which I'm cool with. The biggest disappointment of the day, Cincinnati.
Yeah, man.
You have got to beat that one, dude.
I mean, so the thing, Cincinnati has had a rough start to say the least. They've really struggled on offense, and we had a conversation about the best wide receivers in the game and how there were going to be some receivers coming in who would be the best wide receiver this year, and Jamar Chase was on that list. And I don't know what's going on with Burrow, but these guys who have had such a great connection last year, they've had two straight duds. I mean, the Cowboys didn't even have their starting quarterback. I mean, they lost to the Cowboys, who started. Wait for it. Starting quarterback Cooper Rush. Does anybody know who Cooper Rush is?
Where
I'm.
he even
I
came
don't even.
from.
Where did who? What? I've never heard of the dude, and so I'm just really confused at what's going on with this team. They seem so good last year, getting into the playoffs, and
They were just a throw away from winning the Super Bowl. Just about.
yeah, yeah, and I don't know. I guess it was too much too soon, and now they're just kind of they're falling off, man. So I don't
Their
know, man.
that offensive output is just terrible. Like you expect more from a team like this. No points in the second quarter, only 3 points in the first quarter. 6 points in the third. They didn't even break double digits in any quarter. Their closest was 8, and that was it.
Basically, Cooper Rush, who none of us know, had more had more yards than 219 for 31, not the greatest. 235 yards, one touchdown, and Burrowhead was 24 for 36, 199 yards, and one touchdown. So again, you got outplayed by a player I've never even heard of. Jamar Chase had 5 catches for 54 yards. Joe Mixon, who's your star running back, 19 carries, 57 yards. Their offense just looks it's looking
Terrible.
pedestrian. Yeah, it's looking real
Yeah.
pedestrian right now. So I don't know what to say. I mean, you can't get outplayed by a ailing Cowboys team. Jerry Jones is probably ready to give Cooper Rush a contract at this point. He's gonna
10-year extension right now.
exactly. So
10-year extension. Dude, this Cooper Rush is in his 5th season in the NFL. I don't even know where he was a backup on
I've
any other
never
team, to be
I've
honest with
never
you.
heard of him before in my life.
Never. I mean, we don't hear much about the backup quarterback as it is, but I mean, there's been some better backup quarterbacks to say the
Then
least, and Cooper
than
Rush
that guy. Yeah, for sure. Yes.
is.
There definitely been better backup quarterbacks than that guy. That's that much we can for sure say. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, so they'll figure it out. But bottom line is, the Bengals suck. And again, like I said, maybe it was a little too much too soon. Hopefully they figure it out and start getting putting a few things together. But it it looks like maybe the Bills, maybe the Bills and Chiefs will be competing for the AFC title.
Well, I would say my Ravens are in there, but they just blew a 30-point lead today, so I
Hey, they got another chance, man.
can't really put them in that
They got another
conversation. But
chance.
so I lost that one at -1.5. They ended up losing, but I did win with the New York Giants. Though they were -2 to start the game with, and ended up beating the lowly Carolina Panthers
Yeah,
19-16
so the
in a game where offense was an absolute throw up. That
and
was
the
terrible,
quarterback for
man.
the Carolina Panthers is Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield.
Not a lot of good QB
Hey,
stats. I think Tua from the Dolphins had more throwing yards than all three of these games we're looking at combined. I mean, it was terrible, man. Baker Mayfield,
in all
145 yards, one touchdown. Who is this? Daniel Jones, 176, one touchdown. Uh, these games
first
are
of
bad.
all, first of
These
all,
games are bad.
Tua threw two balls that equaled the total of Baker Mayfield's entire
Yeah, true.
game.
That's very true. You're right. You're right.
Let's just put that one the way it is. There, he definitely had some more passing yards from two throws compared to Baker Mayfield, where he had to make 29 throws.
Exactly.
Saquon Barkley kind of came down to earth. They did use him a little more today with 21 rushes for 70 plus yards. So not the same output that we saw in
Yeah,
game one,
last game.
but there were some moments from Saquon Barkley where it was you could see his feet are starting to come back underneath him with the way he was running here. So with that being said, the AFC East is a little interesting right now because the New York Giants happen to be 2-0.
That
The
the Cowboys are 1-1. Yay. Um,
so
who else is in that god
um,
awful division?
the Washington
Oh my gosh.
Commanders. By the way, America, I called them the Commodores before we got on the show today.
I mean, apparently
Let's
their
just
starting
put it.
quarterback is Lionel Richie. I don't know. This was tripping, man. He said the Commodores.
I com- I called them the Commodores today, and I was like, "Oh, I better take
I
that
think
one
we should
back real
just keep
quick."
calling them that. Quite honestly, from now on,
If they keep
yeah,
playing
the
like it,
Commodores, the Washington Commodores. Like, who are you talking about? The Commodores, you know?
Lionel Richie's going to buy the team if that
Oh
was the
yeah,
case.
exactly. Yeah.
But let's look at the NFC East standings right now because, well, Philadelphia plays tomorrow night, and then both Washington and Dallas 1-1, but the New York Giants are 2-0, and I don't think any of us had predicted the New York Giants to be 2-0 to start the
No, no,
season with.
not at all. I thought the Cowboys would have had a better showing. That division is always crap. Um, like they either have one good team or they have a bunch of mediocre teams. I don't know. So, you've got the Eagles who I think have a good chance to make a little bit of noise. But the Giants definitely have come out of left field. Now, given the youth that they have at quarterback, I don't think Saquon can only carry them so far. I don't know if they end up winning. I mean, this division it's a toss up. AFC East is a toss up, man. I wouldn't be surprised if
NFC
excuse me.
NFC East.
NFC East is a toss up. AFC East is not a toss up. Um, so I think the Eagles have a good chance to take it too, man. So I think the Eagles end up taking that. I think they end up leading that division.
Okay. Well, we'll see after
I'm taking
tomorrow
Hurts,
night.
baby. I'm taking Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. All right. So I went 2-1 on my picks from Friday, and then our guest pick Nick from NorCal Sports Cards um, had a rough one. He had a bit of a rough one. The Browns were -6.5 point favorites. They end up losing to the Jets, 31-30. That's just embarrassing. You can't lose to the Jets.
Hey man, Joe Flacco had a resurgence,
You
man. He was
can't.
feeling good about himself.
Threw over 300 yards
Again.
today, man.
Again. He
Damn.
was on fire.
Oh man, you can't take that away from him at all. That again, the Jets were down big today. It's Dude, that was another game where you figured the Browns were gonna run away with it, and then they never
Well,
did.
they remember they were the Browns. That's all. It was. We are the Doo Doo Browns. Look at this. 307, 4 touchdowns. Good for you, Flacco.
Four throwing touchdowns today. He
Wow.
resurrected, brought it back for the one time
Got
here.
Jacoby
But
Brissett. Amari Cooper putting up 101 yards today. The Raiders sure could use another long threat, couldn't they? Anyway, another deep threat, but
well,
it's okay.
who else? The Washington Commanders.
The Commodores.
Um, the Washington Commodores looked like dog water for themselves today. They made a ferocious comeback. The game was a lot closer than what it should have been. But they were down to the lines like 22-0 at one point.
Yeah, yeah. So they were
It was
down. They were down. Yeah, 22 to nothing in the first half. Made a comeback in the third and the fourth with 15 points in the third and 12 points in the fourth. Uh, but it just wasn't enough. Carson Wentz, once a highly touted quarterback, playing for the Philadelphia Eagles, threw for 337 yards and 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Um, I don't expect the Commanders to do much, man. I think they're going to be trash. Jared Goff is playing for is basically what it's like what the Clippers used to be. It's where talent goes to die. I don't know if he's going to do anything in Detroit, but
damn,
I
damn.
just feel like that's what's going to end up happening, man. I feel bad for Jared because he was a good quarterback for a time, and Matthew Stafford isn't, in my opinion, that much better than him, to be honest. But it was
It
just
really
just
isn't.
enough to get him over the hump.
I would say the Lions have showed a lot of fight over these last two in their first two games. Obviously, coming back against the Eagles and losing, and holding off a Commanders or a Commodore team, I should say, from really pulling away with that game. So, the Lions got they're like the cowardly the was it the cowardless lion from the Wizard of
The cowardly
Oz.
lion, yeah, he needs his
Um,
heart.
the cowardly lions. That's what we'll call them right now. But they have a pretty daunting schedule ahead of them. Vikings, Seahawks, Patriots, and
Yeah,
Cowboys.
yeah, man.
Boy, did the league hate them then.
They'll be a 500 club, man. I don't see them doing a whole lot more than that.
No, I don't either. But I mean, at the same time, it's they're not 0-2, so they're not gonna have a winless season. That's for sure.
Yeah.
They're getting their wins in. So Nick's 0-2 there, and then right now he's got the Bears at plus 9.5. The Bears are currently down 24-10.
Nope.
Green Bay first in goal or on their own 1 yard line with 8 minutes left to go. So all it needs is a touchdown. All he needs is a touchdown from Chicago, which is asking for a lot, and he should be covering his picks, or at least cover that one.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck. Well, looks like the Packers have the ball on the one, so it looks like that didn't go too well. Um,
Not at all.
turnover on.
Jeez. But you wanna make some picks for the Monday night games? We got two of them.
There's two. Oh my gosh, why?
We get two Monday night games.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm gonna just do flat out picks. I don't have the money line right in the money line right in
Yeah,
front of
we'll
me.
just we'll,
But
we'll just do flat
let's
out
let's go
picks.
with let's definitely go with the Bills over the Titans. The Titans kind of struggled the first game. They rely a lot on their running back, and I think the Bills' offense is going to overwhelm them, and they will beat the Titans. And I'll just give a score. Let's say I'll say they're going to win 27-14.
27-14 Bills. I don't have a pen or a paper on
I'll
me,
write
but
it down.
we'll just go back to the video. I got the Bills winning. I don't. The Titans just don't have no offensive weapons outside of Derrick
Yeah.
Henry. Everything on that team. So I am going to go with the Bills. I will say the Bills win easily at home on
Okay.
Monday night.
All
I'm
right.
going 30. I'm going 34-10.
Whoo, man, you really
34-10 from the Bills. Although
good
the
old
way this ended, the way this weekend went, you just never know.
yeah, the good old fashioned ass kicking is
And
what we're
then
looking for.
we got the second game, which is the Eagles and the Vikings, which should be a good
Ooh,
one.
yeah, man. I think
That's a good
I like
matchup.
the I'm rooting for the Eagles on this one. I don't like Kirk Cousins. Um, no, the Vikings are a very good team. They obviously have Jefferson and Thielen as their wideouts, and Kirk Cousins is he's an okay quarterback. I think I do like I'm rooting for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles just because I want to see a little bit of new blood. Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Eagles on this one. I don't know about the score, dude. I'm gonna go with the Eagles by 3. So let's go with 24-27. Eagles win.
Oh, ooh, okay. 24-27. I am going to go with the Vikings. Um, on that one, I think they just have way too many weapons on the offensive side. Their defense isn't that bad on the other end of the ball
Right,
here,
that's
so
true.
I'm gonna go with the Vikings on this one. I think they win by a touchdown. I think it's 28-21 Vikings.
28-21, and then I got 24-27.
Yep.
All right, perfect. And think we got a little bit of time to get into a little bit of NBA talk.
I don't see why not. I
All
mean,
right, let's
there's a $1 billion man in the industry now, folks.
billion
Cheers to
dollars.
you, sir.
I'm gonna start with a story from the NBA, so we're gonna make that transition, and that story is in regards to the Suns owner, Saver. How the hell you say his name? And I'm gonna try to find the article here, but uh, he's been doing some strange stuff. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, he's been doing some weird stuff in the workplace. He's been kind of abusing his right as an owner, and he's taken his ownership power to a brand new high. So let's talk about that. Well, just to give a little bit of background story. So, Sarver is the owner of the Phoenix Suns. He was under investigation, or at least the business was under investigation, and a lot of it pointed back to him. And here's just some of the things he's done. Well, I'll just list them out per the reports. Sarver apparently was using and repeating the N word when talking to others. He engaged in some not so great conduct towards women, and made some sex related comments in the workplace, some inappropriate things towards women as well, and yeah. So and also he yelled and screamed at people and made people cry. Apparently that was also on here. So that third
I
would
mean,
that
I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm not. It's the way it was said that made me
yeah, I'm not. I
giggle.
mean that last one, I'm not that upset about. I mean, if you people cried because he yelled at them, okay, big deal. But obviously the other two. So really, the question about on this, we went through this with the Clippers and Donald Sterling. I mean, based on what I'm kind of the things I've said. Do you think this is the same degree as the situation with Sterling?
I think it's a little worse than what Donald Sterling went through. So
Okay,
the whole Donald Sterling thing, it was just more of a racism thing off the
right. The
comments that he made there.
conversation, right.
But the conversation that he had with that remind you,
Oh,
Donald
that's
Sterling was
right.
about 900.
His plastic girlfriend. I almost forgot.
He Donald Sterling's 900-year-old, and his plastic girlfriend was about 25 years old.
That's
So,
gross, man.
I guess he had a problem with him hanging out with Michael or Magic Johnson, and so he made some very rude comments in regards to that there, and he got banned from the league for life. This, I think, is a tad bit worse because you're involving racism and sexual references in the workplace here.
Yeah.
So it's a double whammy for him, and this has to. I can't. I'm actually interested to see what Adam Silver's going to do, if he's going to sit there and drop the hammer on him and just ban him for life.
Well, I don't know if that's going to happen. I know they have fined him already. So he's been fined. He's been fined for $10 million. and he can
Damn.
he's been removed from all. They're calling it activity related to the franchise. So I don't really know what that means. It just means I guess he won't be at the games. I don't know what the hell does he do anyway. But
But
I think this could lead to a situation where he could be removed, similar to the Sterling situation. I think the only way it happens though is if you get the same amount of player push that you did during the situation with the Clippers. Because if you remember, that was during the playoffs. Remember, it was the
yep,
Warriors. Of course, the Warriors were
yep,
playing.
Warriors and
That's
Clippers.
right, we're playing the Clippers, and it was a big deal. Guys weren't even going to come out on the field on the court and play. Uh,
They wore their shirts inside out
yeah,
too.
yeah. So it was happening at a very hot, at a very unique time where there are a lot of eyes on basketball already, and so I think that magnified it, and the players really got behind it and helped push them out. With this happening in the off season, it doesn't have as much spiciness to it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
because of that, I don't think you get as much about the story because we got football going on. Not to make excuses, but a lot of the things are happening in the sports world right now. So you're not this story is not getting that much of a push. However, once we get closer to the NBA season, I think when you start to hear players talk about it more and players speak out about it and push, then I think you're going to see the league feel inclined to do something a little bit more, a little bit harsher or offer a harsher penalty. But for right now, he lost $10 million and he can't come to the games.
yeah. But we've seen the players stand strong in the NBA when it comes to stuff like this.
Yeah,
LeBron has already mentioned that he's got to be gone. You know the players are going to band together. If there's any league that's a players' league, it's the NBA,
right.
and so they all stand behind each other no matter what happens off the court. They have each other's back. So I don't think this will take too long for them because technically training camp has already started. Um, so I don't see this taking too long where Adam Silver kicks him out of the league for life. I just $10 million is a nice fine, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be you know what it's gonna be. It's the shatter the consequence after that.
Yeah,
So
it's going to be once the games start, people start going to the games. There's going to be more chat, like you said, more talk about it. Chris Paul was on that Clippers team when
yeah.
Donald Sterling got when they got rid of Donald Sterling. Now he's on another team that's dealing with a similar situation. What the hell's going on with Chris Paul, man?
Oh my god.
By the way, conspiracy number one: if somehow LeBron James ends up with an ownership stake in the Phoenix Suns, we all know why.
Yep. The fix is in, folks. What else? Oh, Under Armour. Great job on signing Steph Curry to a lifetime contract that's gonna pay him out at the end of it $1 billion.
Man, B,
Um,
we talked about this. I was saying, why don't they just sell him the company at that point?
Might as well hand him the keys to the door to
It's-
Under Armour and say, "Hey, don't turn the lights off at night when you
yeah,
leave."
it's yours, bro. Don't worry about it. It's all yours.
I think this is a big move for Under Armour when you talk about the endorsement game, though, because they've been playing second fiddle to everyone plays second fiddle to Nike, really.
Yeah,
But I think for Under Armour to finally get their first lifetime player contract under their belt, and it happens to be a very popular athlete in the world, is a big step for Under Armour in this competition world of logos.
yeah,
They're miles away from Nike. They got a long way to go, but in the meantime, I think this is a great move for him. This is a great move for Under Armour for a partnership that is doing well because, as we all know, Curry is a man of all the people. With his shoe, he designed a shoe for
right.
the girls out there. His work that's being done out here in the Bay Area, and just his logo itself has been very good for the league here. So I think it's good for Under Armour to get to match that with Nike here. But unfortunately, Nike has multiple players under lifetime contracts.
Well, I think Under Armour has to get their marketing together and make sure that they promote the crap out of Steph Curry, and I think they've done that to some degree.
Yeah,
But do more. I mean, does Steph Curry have his own signature logo yet?
yeah,
This.
he's got it.
Oh, he does. Okay. Well, they need to
Yep.
promote that crap. I don't even know what it looks like. You know what I mean? So I think you have to. they have to go, if they're going to give him $1 million. They need to go full court press and promote him as much as they can on TV and whatever other avenues they can figure it out. Because for Under Armour, it's not about signing Steph Curry. It's about signing the next superstar. And the only
Yeah.
way that they do that is by promoting that player so that other players will see, oh, yeah, I could get in front of the camera. I'm getting the commercials. I'm getting the limelight. I'm getting more eyes on me. I mean, that's ultimately what players are trying to do. Not that all players are seeking fame, but if you're going to join with Nike, the only reason you're doing it is because one, they pay you, and two, they can help you promote your own personal brand. And so,
Hmm.
so I think Under Armour has to take a full court press. They got to put Curry out there. They got to get some themed commercials, because that's what Nike did. Remember when the LeBron James commercials were out?
Yeah.
When he first came on the scene, he was dressed up as an old man. He was doing all this weird, these weird, funny commercials. Curry is a naturally funny guy. He's a naturally energetic dude. And so they
Yep.
need to be able to leverage that. It doesn't have to be so serious all the time. All these things, in life, sometime no, no, no. That's cool and all, but you need to do things that draw the attention of younger eyes. That something that's more engaging, and use humor, man. Don't be so
Yeah.
serious, dude. And I think if they can build on that, I think they'll have something to work with.
Well, the big thing Nike does too is when their athlete wins a championship, what's the first thing we see after that game?
Oh yeah,
The commercial for them.
commercial. Yeah. Oh yeah.
KD,
Oh, they have it
KD got
ready.
one.
Yeah.
LeBron's got one. They have them ready. Under Armour is going to have to really step that up and kind of and force that on there.
Right.
With that, I mean, when you look at Steph Curry's this past season, what's not to say he didn't have the one of the greatest seasons an NBA player can have.
Right.
You know,
Where
won a
where where's the
championship.
commercial and the shoe that commemorates that?
Yeah, it's got to happen now. I think they got to put one out this year where it commemorates his success. Um, for a second, Tom Brady kind of owned Under Armour a little bit before Steph Curry came onto the limelight.
Yeah.
But now, Tom Brady's like second or third on that list now when
Yeah.
it comes to it. So they really need to get the marketing department kind of all hands on deck because right now, if you could build this up for basketball, when basketball turns the corner and the Warriors are getting their rings, you better have a commercial lined up for opening night when the
Absolutely.
Warriors are getting their rings.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean,
So
it's a great story. He's got a brother that plays in the league. You you got to put the storyline together and make it work. I mean,
yep.
Nike finesses the crap out of everything. You know what I mean? Like, you got to find a way to get these guys out there, put them in front of different audiences, and really piggyback. I mean, you got one of the most squeaky clean athletes as far as reputation goes in the entire league, outside of maybe LeBron James. But LeBron's gonna get flack because he'll make comments
He's
about
LeBron.
things. Yeah, he'll make comments about things that people will kill him. Steph Curry, that doesn't even happen to Steph. Steph doesn't even get involved in any political thing or nothing. He's just chilling, playing basketball. You know what I'm saying? How you don't
Yeah.
get Klay Thompson in on this? I mean, you gotta find a way. You know what I mean?
Man, Klay Thompson is a menace, dude. I love watching Klay Thompson during the offseason, man.
Oh
That boy
man,
living his life, man. It is dope to watch.
on a
But
on a on a boat with three holes in a champagne bottle, man.
yeah, living every single man's dream right
That's
now, man.
right.
Gotta love the man for that.
Yep.
Um, but I think that's gonna do it for us tonight.
Yeah, man. We're at 8 o'clock, so yeah, I think we had a full show, man. That was great, and I'm looking forward to be on the lookout for our Pick'em Dummies next week. So we're gonna
Thursday, right?
yeah, we're gonna do live Thursday, but it'll be up obviously after that, so you'll be able to watch it and see what picks we got, and see if we are actually helping the public by doing this, or if we're
Well,
hurting them.
we're off to a good start. The guest speakers aren't really off to a hot start. I think they were starting out 0-3.
Damn.
0-3.
That's
Ouch, that hurts a
that's
little
rough.
bit.
That's
Let's
that's
check
that's rough, man. That's rough.
before we leave. Let's check on the Bills, or not the Bills, but the Packers Bears game. I think this one should be ending pretty soon. Jesus Christ. Yep,
2017.
27-10. So Green Bay's got the ball with 2 minutes and 28 seconds left on the Chicago 10. So I think a field goal here is gonna wrap it up. So Nick, I hate to tell you this, but if you're watching, you went 0-3. Sorry.
And there you have it. Game over. Yep. All right, y'all. Well, until next week, again, we appreciate you for being on the chat. Thank you, Mama Birdie, Rachel,
Yep.
and look out for our show next week on Thursday. And again, if you like the product that we're presenting, if you like the chat, the talk, go on in there and drop a like and subscribe to us. We appreciate it.
For the notifications too. Help yourself out. Notifies you when we go live
That's
and
right.
put up any videos. Hit that notification button.
That's right. Push all them buttons. Damn it.
Well, not the unsubscribe button.
Oh
Just
yeah,
push
no,
all
no,
the
I
buttons.
said no, no, it's not that one. My bad. I'm gonna shut up now.
Oh, hey, Kane, if you're watching, I forgot to give you a shout out first in the show. Kane, love you, buddy.
we tried our best, Kane.
Yeah, I cuss. So, but if you weren't on there, you didn't hear
Hey,
it.
there you go. All right,
All
everybody have a good
right,
evening.
y'all. Have a good night.
Late.